Hi everyone, it's Laura Milligan. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am excited to share some really cute bookmarks that you can use. This idea actually came from my nephew Teddy, who is an amazing young man, super talented. He is a chef extraordinaire, and he was making some paper, using some stamps and things really cool. And then he shared this bookmark idea, and I'm like, I have to do this for my Facebook Live. So I think you're going to really like it. If you're there, say hi. Today is Wednesday, or I'm sorry, it's June. It's June already, isn't it? What happened to May? Um, but anyway, it is June, and my gosh, time just flies, doesn't it? So say hi. Let me know you're there. Let me check the comments. I was running a little bit late today. The morning kind of got away from me, but it was busy here in the studio. My phone was ringing and all this other stuff. Hi Debbie. Hi Anne Marie. Thank you for watching today. I know this isn't my normal time to go live, but this actually worked out better for me than Monday. So there's Colleen. Hi Colleen, how are you? So what I'm going to show you are these bookmarks, and I have a lot of different ideas. I'm going to make a couple of them, and then I have some more that I'm going to share. So are you a reader? Let me know if you're a reader. And if you're a reader, do you use a book? Do you use a Kindle? This bookmark would actually work even if you're not a reader. You could use it to mark like your favorite recipe in a cookbook. If you have a favorite cookbook that you use, you could mark a recipe with that. But I will use mine as a bookmark. All my daughters are readers, but my youngest daughter, Faith, is an extremely avid reader. And I think I've told you before about how she makes the most amazing reading book journal at the beginning of every year with her reading goals and all the different genres, and she ranks them, and like it is the coolest thing. And she does it brand new, starts a whole brand new one every year, and so she will love this. I'm going to give her one for sure. Next week's her birthday, so she will be getting one. Hi Myra. Hi Jean. Thanks everybody for joining me. So I'm going to go ahead. Oh, and before I change the camera view, I wanted to mention we have an amazing BOGO sale going on right now. It started yesterday. It is with our suites, and that's SUITES, suites. So we have some things we call them suites, and they're a whole collection of products that go together. And you can actually, when you're ordering them, you can write down one number and you will get everything that's a part of a suite. So usually it's a bundle, some designer paper, some ribbon, and some gems. And sometimes we have what we call mega suites, and those include two bundles and paper and gems and ribbon or some kind of twine or whatever. And so what the special is, and it goes through the whole month of June, the special is if you buy a suite, you can get another suite half off. And the suite can be either in our current catalog, or it can be online as an online exclusive. That is a great deal. Some of the suites are like, $85 around, give or take a few. So if you purchase a suite that's $85, you can then buy another suite and get it for half off. So you have the potential to save like $40 or so. I have sent out a couple emails about this, and I know I've been posting it on my Facebook page, but what you want to be careful of is if you order like a suite and then you order another suite, you'll get that one half off. But if you then add like maybe a pack of designer paper that is from a suite, they take the half off amount on the lowest priced item. So if you want some designer paper, I would do a separate order for that. I would order, like, if it's, entire suite that you want, order another entire suite, get it half off. And then put another order in to get some designer paper. Excuse me. But the way it works is you can buy any component. You can buy the entire suite, get an entire suite half off. You can buy an entire suite and get maybe a bundle from another suite. Maybe you already have the paper and the ribbon, you just want the bundle. You can get that at half off as well. So you could buy a bundle from like the Beautiful Gallery suite, and then buy a bundle from another one of the suites. So if you're looking, if you want to know what the suites are that we currently have available, I would go into my online store and there's a search bar and just type in suites, suites, and all the suites will come up, and you can buy any component, buy one, get one free. So hope that makes sense. If you have questions, let me know. But this is the first time we've ever offered a deal like this and a sale like this, and it is a great, great deal. So keep that in mind. And the other thing I wanted to mention was this new event that we are hosting. It's called the Virtual Album Retreat. People are raving about this. People that have done these in the past with Close to My Heart, they have raved about this, and it's a chance for you to make an entire scrapbook representing an entire year. So you will make 12 double page layouts, which means 24 different pages, and you can scrapbook your entire year. And they have done so much prep for this. There's some exclusive product that are only going to be a part of this event. Almost everything is going to be pre-cut for you, and they're going to share tips and tricks, and it sounds really, really fun. If you're local to me, I'm going to hold like a mini session so we can all get together and at least get started on our album. So watch for information on that, but that is something I'm really excited about. So, okay, hi Marianne, hi Susie Q, hi Wendy, hi Sarah. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera view down now. And I have a super fun project. So like I said, I have several of these bookmark ideas that I'm going to share with you. I'm going to start with kind of a simple one, and then I have three I think that I'm going to make, and I have some ideas. Once I started doing this, I just I couldn't stop. I kept thinking of more and more and more ideas. So, okay, so we're going to start with, this is thick white cardstock, basic thick white cardstock, and I'm going to cut this at 1 inch by 11. It's already 11 inches long, so I don't need to cut it there. Hi Lori, how are you? Lori, there was an open house at your former house over the weekend, on Sunday I think it was. I thought of you. Anyway, okay, I'm going to now score this at 1/2. And I'm going to move this up and score it at 5.5. Oh, and let me turn this so you can see what I'm doing. So I've already done it at 1/2. I'm going to move this up and score it at 5.5. This is my scoring blade. This is the cutting blade, so I'm getting the cutting blade out of the way, and I'm just going to score this like this, and then I'm going to score again at 1/2. Okay, so let me say that again. This is a 1 inch by 11 inch piece of cardstock. You're going to score at 1/2, 5.5, and then at 1/2 on the other end. So you're going to have like a V shape. All right, let me get my cutter out of the way here. All right, so the first one that I'm going to show you is kind of simple, but I thought that would be a good one to start out with. So I'm going to take, let me see if I have what I need here. I'm going to take this little butterfly stamp from Beautiful Butterflies, and I don't even know where it is. Well, oh, here it is. Okay. If you would have been here this morning, you would have seen how crazy things were here. It was crazy. My phone was ringing off the hook, and anyway. So I'm just going to stamp this butterfly. I'm using Strawberry Slush ink. That's one of our new in colors. Love that color. And I'm going to go ahead and set this aside. And then what I'll do is take the die that coordinates with this, and I'm just going to position it here like this, run it through my die cutting machine, and through the magic of television, right? Hi Elaine, how are you? Hi Lisa. It's going to come out like this. And some of the die cutting I like to do ahead of time just to save a little time, but like I always say, if you need help, if you're interested in die cutting and you don't know how to do it, just let me know and I can go into more detail at any time. All right, so I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to get my paper trimmer again, and I'm going to cut this in half. So I'm just going to line this up on my trimmer, and hopefully you can see that. Yeah, you can see that. And I'm just going to cut this in half right down the middle, just like that. Okay. Then I'm going to fold these little 1/2-inch strips back at the ends, and I'm going to take my glue, and I'm going to put some glue on this piece. These are really easy, and I think they're so much fun. And as you're doing this, you can keep at it. You can do more. I'm going to show you a couple of these that are a little bit more detailed. And then I'm going to hold this in my hands like this. And I want to make sure that these two pieces are lined up. The base of it, the little flaps are lined up. And then I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to position this. This would be great for anybody that is a reader. Okay, and that looks pretty good. I just want to make sure, yep, it's lined up quite well. And then what I'm going to do is take, even though I've already scored this, I'm going to take my bone folder and just run down this to make sure that it fits. But the important part about this is just getting these two pieces lined up. So then what I'm going to do is just kind of hold it like this and give it a nice little press like that, just to make sure that sticks. So that's like the base of it. So then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a gem, and I'm just going to put a little gem right on one of the wings. So I'm going to use strawberry slush. And I'm just going to put the gem just right up here on that wing, just to dress it up a little bit. And so that is the base. That's the base of the butterfly bookmark. So let me bring a book in. I tried to find a book that was strawberry slush, but all you would do is take your book and you just slide this bookmark in there like that. And look how cute. Let me see if I can show you from, there it is. From the top, look how cute that is. And that's your little bookmark. So super quick, super easy, but I thought this was really cool. But then what I thought was, we have all this beautiful designer paper that coordinates with everything. So I made 2 strips. This is our, the new pattern, one of the new patterns of our color family paper stacks that we have, and this is strawberry slush. I cut this 5 inches by about 3/4, 7/8 of an inch. And so I'm just going to put this here like this. It just kind of dresses it up a little bit. Okay. Oh, and this one I don't, I didn't cut it off. I'm going to just snip it real quick with my paper snips. Try to eyeball it. Here we go. Just like that. And so this would just be like this. And again, it would flip right in the book, and that's what it would look like from the top. I just think it's so, I just thought these were so cool. And it's not a card or whatever, but you could easily send one of these in a card. So that's the first one. So what do you think about that? Do you like that idea? I just thought it was super, super fun. So that's my first one. I have another one that I'm going to make that's also pretty simple. Let's see. This one is using a flower. If I could get it out of there. There we go. From the Impressions of Bloom bundle. And this one I thought, so I die cut one of the flowers. This is Highland Heather, and then my base is Shy Shamrock. And I used, do I have the dies here? I thought I did, yep. So for the flower, I used the Impressions of Bloom flowers. Let me tell you, if you could just sit down and start making these and you're not going to want to stop. That's what happened with me. So I used 2 of these dies together to create this flower, and I love, of course, the added detail of that like stitching on it. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I have to figure out which way I want the bookmark to go, and I think I want it to be this way. So I'm going to just put a little bit of glue on the outside edge of this circle. I'm avoiding the center because since I'm going to cut this, the paper's going to be a little bit wet from the glue, and I don't want it to like tear. Whoops, I'm going to hold that there for a second. All right, I'm going to let that sit there for a second. And then I've already cut, this is Shy Shamrock, and it's the same thing. It's 1 inch by 11, scored at 1/2, 5.5, and 10.5. So I'm going to fold these back like this. Okay, and I'm going to get my paper trimmer again. Yes, I'll show you. No, this is not in the catalog, Colleen, but I'll show you how it's used in a book. I did once, but you may have not seen that part. I think I did it this way. All right, so I'm going to just go ahead. Give me 1 second, and I'll put this one in a book. Okay, so we have that. Just cut it in half. Let me grab my little butterfly. So there's 2 ways you could do this. You could put it like at the side, like that, but it doesn't look good. It looks better if it's just right at the top, because then you can see, you know, what the butterfly's going the right direction, and then you can see the pretty designer paper sticking out, and it just looks super cute. All right, so I'm going to take this. Oh, and it looks like this, I didn't trim this right. Well, I can fix it. This is how this day has been, right? We'll just ignore that other score line there. All right, so I'm going to fold these back, do the same thing. I'm going to glue each half on, and I want to make sure that both pieces are lined up properly with each other. So I'm just going to put that there. I thought this was a pretty color combination. Oh, Colleen, you said meant show it being used in the catalog. Okay, I can do that. Yeah, that's true. It's a good way to mark something in your catalog, right? All right, so I'm just going to hold these. Those look lined up really nicely. And I'm just going to turn it over and give that a press. Okay. So we have that. Like that. And I think it would be cute to add, you know, you could put a little gem on the flower. You may want to just keep it simple. And then I did cut some Shy Shamrock DSP. You could do the leaves again. The leaves actually would look cute on the flower, and I need to trim these just a little bit. I made these strips 5 inches long. This, I'm just going to cut it to like 4 and 7/8. Make sure that fits. Yeah, this one for some reason, let me measure this. Okay, it's 4 and 3. So I'm going to make this a little bit shorter. And actually, that being said, if you're using a bigger book, you technically could, you could use a 12 by 12 or 12 inch by 1 inch strip of paper if you needed it to be longer, but I think the 11 inches is good. All right, so I'm going to do the leaves on this one as well. I think that's pretty. I like this pattern on the back as well, but I'm just going to put this here. that. Put one here, and I will put this in the catalog so you can see what that looks like. Okay, so we have that. There's our purple Highland Heather flower. And let me grab my catalog. And actually it kind of matches, so you would just slide it down in there like that. And there you have it. Look how cute. Isn't it fun? I couldn't stop. Let me tell you, I just could not stop making these. You're right, Colleen, the possibilities are endless. So there it is in the catalog. You could, like I said, you could put it in a cookbook, anything that you're reading. I like that idea of putting it in the catalog. That's a good idea. All right, now I'm going to do one that is more stepped up. This one might be my favorite. All right, so I am going to use, this is going to be a giant one, but I really like it. So I'm using the Coneflower Celebrations bundle. And, you know, last week I made, let me show you these two cards. These were very well received. I think people really like this bundle. Hold on, let me pull my little notes off here. So I made these two, and I thought, gosh, I don't know, are these too big to use for a bookmark? And I thought, I'm going to try it. So I tried it, and so I'm going to make this one first. So let me show you. So what I've done is, with the dies, I have cut two of these. Yeah, you know what, and it's true, it would be perfect for if you have kids or grandkids that do like the summer reading programs through the library. This would be an awesome thing to make for them, or have them help you make it, even better, right? So I've cut out two of these detailed flowers. I'm going to call it a daisy, and then I cut out a yellow center, and then I did stamp and die cut the butterfly, and I did this in Tuxedo Black Memento ink, just like I did last week when I was making this card. This is all the same colors. So you have to be a little careful when you do this one, and let me just show you. You know what, first I'm going to just quickly color this. My girls used to love the library summer reading program. We would go to the library. We live close to our local library, and we would walk there or ride bikes, and my gosh, that was fun. All right, so I'm just going to add some dark there. This is peach pie. I don't know if I said that. This is my peach pie light and dark blends, and so now this is the light color, so I'm just going to add some light. Just kind of blend that in. So my nephew Teddy made one. He didn't know about my Queen Bee stamp set that I got to design, and he came across that in Nancy, my sister-in-law's stash of products, and he saw that and he thought that was pretty cool. And so he made a bookmark using the Queen Bee, which of course that made me feel good. That was really fun. Okay, so I'm just going to put some color on there like that. And then I'm going to reach, sorry, excuse my reach here. This is my light basic black blend. And for the body, this is such a small piece. I'm just going to dot a small space, but I wanted to add some color. So I'm just barely touching it and adding some color to the body. All right, so now what I'm going to do is take my two flowers, and I'm just going to slightly offset them so that it just makes it look like there's more petals. So I'm going to put a dab of glue like that. And I'm just going to, I think for this it's easier to hold in my hand and just kind of slightly, I want the top to be fairly lined up because I'm going to put then this yellow center on there, but you can see just, I mean, it is barely, it's like a 1/16 of an inch to the left or to the right of the one on the bottom. You can maybe see it better this way, but it makes it look like it has a lot more petals, right? Okay, So then I'm going to add my yellow center. And again, I'm just going to put the glue on the edges there. I may put a little dab there and there to secure this, but what you don't want to do, especially for this one, is put glue in the center. And I found out because I did this and it kind of tore this as I was cutting it, but you only want to put glue on the edges so that when you cut through it, it doesn't tear that part. So there we have our daisy. And then what I'm going to do for this one, rather than use my paper trimmer, I'm going to just use my paper snips because I didn't really want to cut. I can't really cut this in half because of these petals. They're not really attached, so it would kind of fall apart. So I just took my paper snips and went up and cut it like that, and it's a little bit uneven, but when I put it on the bookmark, it's going to be just fine. So let's see, I need to cut another piece for my base. Let me get this out of the way here. So I'm taking my thick white cardstock. You could do this in yellow, any color really. So I'm cutting it at 1 inch. You're going to have this memorized by the time we're done here. Okay, so then I'm going to score it at 1/2, 5.5, and then 1/2 again on that end. Okay. All right, now we're going to put this one together. And when I'm doing this, I don't make a real crisp crease on this yet. I do that at the end after I've glued these pieces on here. And then you can go down and make sure, because like I said, the important part is this lining up evenly. Okay, so I'm going to put the first flower on this side, the first flower half, I guess I should say. Hold that there for a second. Whoops. Don't want it to twist. Okay. Make sure these are still lined up, and then I'm going to do this half. This is pretty big, but I don't think it's too big. Like I said, I kind of like it like this. You want to make sure that's lined up. That looks pretty good. And I'm going to just hold this upside down and give it a press. And just make sure that that looks good. I could have probably moved this one in a little bit. I think it's fine. And then there is a little bit of the corner here sticking up, which is fine, but I'm going to just take my paper snips and snip that off like that. Then I'm going to run down the end with my bone folder and give that a nice crisp crease right there, like that. And look how cute that is. And then I thought, it's already really big, but I thought, why not add the butterfly? Like I said, this is like the fanciest one, but I'm going to put some glue on the edge here of the center of my flower and just tack the butterfly on there because I just thought that was so, so cute. And again, I'm going to flip this over and make sure that that secures. Okay, so there we have this one. Look how fun that is. And then I thought it'd be fun to add a gem on our flower. So I'm going to use one of the Tempting Tiger gems. And I'll just use one of the medium size. And I'm just going to set it right on the edge of my lower edge of my flower, just like that. So there's the biggest one with the big daisy. And let me pull out my book. I think I'll use my catalog. And I'll just slide this down. And there you have it. It's going to look like that. I don't know if I can do it so you can see. There we go. Look how cute that is. Isn't that fun? I just think these are so much fun. And then, the more I did it, like I said, I couldn't stop. So I did cut some Daffodil Delight DSP. And since this has a lot of white, I chose this more soft DSP. I thought that was pretty. You could do the flowers as well. That would be pretty. But I chose just this. It's almost like a sponged pattern. Okay, so we have that one there. And then we're going to do this one. Aren't these fun? I hope you all make one today. You could make a big one, a little one. What do you like better? Do you think this big one is too big? I don't. I like it. I think it's pretty cute. So thank you, Teddy, for this great idea. So there we have that one. Let me bring my other book in here too to show you. If you're in a book club and you show up with a bookmark like this, your book club members are going to go crazy and they're all going to want one. So love that one. And then I did another one. It's already done, and I'm not going to show you but how the steps, but this was the more solid coneflower. And I just, I did the same thing. I stamped it. This is strawberry slush paper, and then the early espresso, and then I just put one of the little tiny bead trinkets on there. I used garden green as the base instead of the white, and then I have the strawberry slush DSP here, and I thought about like adding a leaf, tucking a leaf under or something, but I kind of felt like this was enough. So let me know what you think. I hope that you will give this a try. They're super, super easy and addictive, and like once I started, I literally could not stop. I kept thinking of more and more ideas, but it was getting close to 1 o'clock, so I had to stop. But like I have this little Storybook Friends rabbit sitting here on my desk that is from a project a long time ago, and I thought, you know what? How cute would this be too? If you like bunnies or just the Storybook Friends, you could do it with that. Literally, look at your stash of stamp sets and dies, and you could make anything. So I'm going to hold all of these up. See if I can do this. That one. Here's the more simple one. And then this flower as well. So let me see if I can hold all of these up. Just like that. There they are, kind of. There we go. So there are 4 ideas, and I'd be curious to know if you make any of these. Let me know what you're using, how yours turned out. Send me a picture. I'd love to see it. Okay. So that is our quick, simple, easy project for today. I thought it was perfect for the summertime. I know I'm anxious to get back out in my garden. Now that it's finally stopped raining, it's garden time. So anyway, it's a quick, cute project, but I hope that you'll have fun with it. I hope you enjoyed this Facebook Live today. If you're watching on replay, let me know. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and hit that like button. That means a lot, and that way you'll be notified whenever I go live, and you won't miss any of the exciting craftiness. So thank you all for joining me today. I hope you have a great week. Make some bookmarks and use them in your summer books that you're reading or your cookbooks. And as always, oh yeah, and you know what, Debbie I got to go back. Hold on. Got to come back here and say, Debbie mentioned the Queen Bee set, and I guess I did say Teddy found my Queen Bee set in Nancy's stash, and he made a bookmark with that, and that was so cute and totally made my day. I just thought that was really fun. So thank you, Teddy, for this great idea, and thank you all for watching today. You could do it for a Bible study group. You're right. You could do, the ideas truly are endless. Yeah, so yes, Colleen said she's going to make them for her book club members. They will love these. So have fun with this idea. Like I said, I couldn't stop making them. So anyway, thank you all so much. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. And that you have a great weekend. Keep stamping, keep sending those cards. It makes such a difference. And as always, I hope you have time to be creative today. Thanks a lot. Take care.